Not all mobsters were Italian, or even Jewish for that matter. One of the most vicious to come across the English Channel was a wiry young chap who earned the moniker Owney the Killer. Born Owen Madden in Leeds, England on December 25th at the end of the 19th century, young Owen and his family moved to New York City in 1903. Not long after, he fell in with the Gopher Gang, a large group of English and Irish immigrants which dominated a large west side area of New York known as Hell's Kitchen. Madden was described as having a friendly appearance, a smiling young lad with a clean-cut look, but looks were deceiving. Those closest to him noted that Madden was a cunning, evil-minded thief who murdered for the pure pleasure of killing. He was a master at beating down opponents in street warfare with everything from lead pipes to brass knuckles. But he took great delight in shooting his mark and watching the life drain slowly from their eyes. Crime historian J. Robert Nash wrote, "Of all the gangsters of his era, Madden was considered the best shot in New York." This was a fact which was unnerving to anyone who dared cross him or his gang. Madden prided himself on the fact that he never worked a day in his life. As the leader of the Gopher Gang, he was personally paid a $200 tribute daily by those under him. This is incredible when one considers the yearly median household income in 1915 was just $687. The tribute came from numerous rackets such as robberies, union beatings, killings, and inter-gang raids he planned. He also made his living by collecting extortion money from weary store shop and pushcart owners who would rather pay protection than have their businesses bombed or set on fire by one of Madden's thugs. As a young man, Madden was considered by most to be very handsome. This garnered him a lot of attention from the young ladies of his day. Madden was, as one friend stated, the quintessential ladies' man. Any girl he knew was his girl, and any man foolish enough to make a pass at one of his girls was beaten senseless or worse. Such was the short life of one William Henshaw, a clerk at a local store. Unbeknownst to him, he asked a girl Madden considered his on a date. Madden followed the oblivious store clerk as he boarded a trolley, and he shot him before dozens of witnesses. In an act of defiance, before leaving the scene, Madden stopped and rang the trolley's bell. When police came to question the witnesses, well, nobody saw anything. Such was the reputation of Owney the Killer. In 1914, Madden murdered Patsy Doyle, a ranking member of a rival gang called the Hudson Dusters. He eventually was arrested and convicted for the crime and received a sentence of 10 to 20 years in Sing Sing. When he was paroled in January of 1923, he found that most of the Gophers were either in prison or had joined Prohibition gangs. Like a U.S. Army recruiter, Madden went looking for fearless and hungry young men to help him form a new gang. Within a short period of time, Owney went into bootlegging. He became friends and teamed up with such notables as Dutch Schultz and became one of the most important and powerful bootleggers and speakeasy operators in New York during the Roaring Twenties. He also teamed with a former street rival, a man known as Big Frenchie. Together they acquired the old Club Deluxe, gave it a makeover, renaming it the Cotton Club. During the 1920s and throughout the 1930s, it was one of the most famous night spots in all of New York. During its heyday, the Cotton Club served as a hip meeting spot, featuring regular celebrity nights with such notable guests as Jimmy Durante, George Gershwin, Mae West, Irving Berlin, and Judy Garland, among others. Together with Dutch Schultz, Madden battled, and usually won, open warfare against the likes of Jack Legs Diamond, Waxy Gordon, and Vincent Mad Dog Coll. But by the end of the decade, Madden could see the handwriting on the wall. Prohibition would soon be repealed. Madden turned his greedy eyes to boxing and went into the fight rackets with a flashy and headline-grabbing Bill Duffy. The two controlled and promoted the giant boxer Primo Carnera, who dubiously won the heavyweight boxing championship. They also owned a piece of boxing legend Max Baer. Side note here to pause for a brief bit of trivia. Boxing legend Max Baer was the father of Max Baer Jr., who played Jethro on the 1960s television series The Beverly Hillbillies. In 1932, Madden was implicated in the murder of Vincent Mad Dog Coll, and the police had him in their sights. Unable to pin the Coll murder on him, the police began a campaign of harassment, arresting Madden for every minor infraction they could stick in his record, 57 in New York alone. Disgusted by the actions of the police and district attorney, and the fact that Italian gangs, especially the Mafia, who were better manned and organized, were beginning to encroach on his operations, Madden finally gave up the rackets. He retired in 1935 at the age of 43 to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Hot Springs became sort of a resort town for retiring mobsters and gangsters on the run. And why not? The city government and police in this small southern town were as corrupt as Tammany Hall. Though officially retired, but not wanting to become stagnant, Madden took over the Southern Club in Hot Springs. He also became involved in local criminal activities, especially illegal gambling. The Southern Club became a popular spot for mobsters wanting to get away from the daily grind, and such notables as Al Capone and Frank Costello were its guests. Charles Lucky Luciano was a guest on the lam of the hotel and casino when he was apprehended by agents on charges stemming from the investigation by New York District Attorney Thomas E. Dewey. In 1943, Madden became a naturalized U.S. citizen and eventually married the daughter of the city postmaster of Hot Springs. He lived there until his death in 1965, being viewed by many as an elder statesman of the rackets. He died with an estimated $3 million at his disposal from his illegal activities.